Yo, welcome to the long and short. This is your boy Maestro. Thanks for tuning in. Every day, our goal is to give insight into price action trading techniques and education aimed at making you a better trader in the crypto market. We share crypto news, opportunities, and offer folks sort of a unique insight into technical analysis. If you're interested in learning more about what we do here, go ahead, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. You will be notified when we post up videos. What we're doing today is a bit different than jumping into the charts. I think it's also important for you to take a look and research potential opportunities in this market. Crypto is a very big space. It's an evolving space. And the folks who get in early into certain areas are the ones who typically win. And that doesn't matter whether or not you're talking about NFTs, memes, Bitcoin itself, or anything else, okay? The way that you find these things, though, is typically a bit late. Right? You're either hearing about them from the news, you're hearing about them from a different influencer, you get the information late, and usually that's when people FOMO into projects that are already moving and end up getting wrecked when the price does come down a bit. That's a very emotional thing to deal with as a trader, and it does turn people off in this market. I want to make the space grow. And so what I want to do is share today how I do a little bit of research to get away from finding out things late. If you find this information valuable, like, subscribe. Let's go ahead and dive right in. So the first thing I like to do is come to this website called CoinMarketCap. CoinMarketCap to me is sort of a place where I can get the inside scoop on what these projects are working towards. The thing about projects is that they all have milestones. Everyone's working towards something, right? And these crypto projects are no different. And a gauge as to whether or not these projects are actually valid is whether or not they hit their milestones. So what I like to do is come to the place where they're actually showing us the milestones. CoinMarketCap is a place where you can find out a ton of different information about coins that you may not know about. And essentially what they're doing is they're putting out all of the different events, right? All of the different milestones that they're trying to hit. Now, you have to filter through this a bit in order to get the proper information. So let me show you how I filter, because what I want to do is focus in essentially on the quarter or the month. I don't want to base my timeline so far out on the horizon to where I'm tracking things for 2 years. And really what I'm tracking is whether or not these folks are hitting their milestones. Because if they're hitting their milestones, that means the team is really putting in the work to deliver what they say they want to deliver to the market. So in order for me to filter out some of this stuff, there's tons of different milestones for tons of different coins, but I want to focus in on really what's happening over the next month, right? So I'm not going to take what's happening next week. At this point, it may be a little too late to react. I want to do a bit more research before I really dive into something or allocate any real equity towards anything, right? So I want to give myself some time. So I'll usually take about a week out from where the date is today. Today's the 9th, so I'm going to let the full week of the 11th pass. I'm going to jump to the 18th. Then I'm probably going to take that to the end of February. If I'm watching something for a month, a lot easier to gauge, right? So once I get my date in order, I want to sort this by significance. The reason why I sort by significance is this is because they're going to put the coins with the most market cap, the most significant coins in the market, right, first. So I'll be able to see things that are actually really moving already. Harmony One, this is one that we've talked about already. You can see they have an Ethereum bridge, a Bitcoin bridge that they're looking to roll out here. Okay, Data Network, Refinance. I can dive deeper and deeper into this. But what I'm really looking for on this page is to see which coins have the most updates, sort of landing on the first page. And I can see here that Secret is sort of taking over the landscape. So what do I want to do? I want to dive deeper into what Secret is, what they do, who their team is, and what the coin's all about, right? So if I click on it, it'll bring me to this informational page here where I can see the price, the market cap, the volume, the upcoming events, etc. We all have different rules on market cap and when we would maybe want to jump into something, but these folks are sitting essentially right under $1 billion, okay? $1 billion market cap is a pretty decent market cap in crypto, but it can definitely grow, especially if the project is doing things that bring in more people. Okay, so here I can get an idea of what exchanges it's on, but what I like to do is go to the website itself. The website will tell you a lot about a project, okay? Whether or not it loads fast, whether or not they have typos on the website, whether or not it's actually working. Like, so if I click the link, do I go to the page? I've seen horror shows when it comes to websites. And if you see a horror show of a website, it's probably not a good project for you to invest in, right? But this is where you'll be able to learn more about a project if it's actually a really good project. Their website should be pretty stellar. Okay. If you're building a blockchain, you should be able to build a website. That's just the way I think about it. So I'll read about what they do. If I'm interested, I'll join more deeper into their community, right? And I'll see what they're building. I'll see what their roadmap is. I'll see if their website is actually cool to look at. Okay. These are all things that matter, because this is what is part of the marketing of the actual coin itself. This is what's going to draw people in. Okay. If you're not interested based on what you see, what makes you think other people will be? So if I'm very interested in Secret, I'll dive deeper into what they actually do. I may become part of the community just to get a gauge on whether or not the community is toxic, or if the community is a good community to be part of. Once I do that, I may go to CoinMarketCap to take a look at, deeper levels of information, maybe even go on Etherscan. I'll take a look at who the holders are, etc. And we'll do that with the next example. But if this is something that I'm interested in, right? Simple thing to do is just take the ticker, SCRT. I'll come to TradingView and I'll mark it, right? And I'll just watch it. Okay, so I'll pull up one. Let's just do Secret Network, Binance USD. I'll just take a look at the price action, right? I'm a TA trader, right? So price action, technical analysis, this matters to me just as much as the fundamental research. I'll take a look at the price action and see, okay, this right now, just by looking at it, is trading somewhat in what we will call a discounted zone. If they start to hit these milestones, right, I'm believing that this price may start to move up. It's already creating higher lows, higher highs, right? Except for this one here. But this is potential, right? These are things that I would look at. And if this is something that I think I may want to track over time, I can add it to my crypto watch list, boom, which I've already done. It shows up there. I can add in my little indicators to make sure that I'm watching it correctly, okay? And now this is part of my watch list. Now I'm watching Secret from day to day to see what this coin is doing, whether or not they're hitting their milestones, and whether or not this is something that I may want to jump into, okay? So this is the first way that we filter on CoinMarketCap. Let's go sort of back to the basis and the starting point, because we can filter this a different way. We have our date range correct. We can also sort this by the date. Sorting by the date sort of wipes out the significance of the coin, right? So market cap becomes less of an issue. And what you're really worried about now is the actual date, right? Now, when I examine dates, especially when it comes to milestones, there's something that in IT projects that we sort of try to steer away from, and that's setting a milestone at the end of the month. When milestones are set at the end of the month, say January 31st, or the beginning of the month, say February 1st, right? These are tentative dates. If you understand the work that needs to be done, your date typically isn't the end of the month to complete that work, right? If I have a date like January 24th or February 14th, that seems to be a much more solid date than something that I'm just needing the full month of January to do, right? So if I set a tentative date at the end of the month, or even if I think it's a solid date, I've seen this in project management 1,000 times, where that date actually probably isn't going to be honored. And if anything, they're going to try to finish it up before this date, right? So beware of dates that end at the end of the month or start in the beginning of the month. These are very tentative dates. You want to focus in on dates that are more solid. So when I sort this by date, I want to see if these dates are at the end of the month, beginning of the month, or sort of falling in the middle of the month, right? Now, again, I'm looking for dominance. I'm looking for projects that have a lot of things happening at one time. Either that, or they have a number of different milestones that they're trying to hit over the quarter, et cetera, et cetera. So you can see pretty simply here that Safely seems to be the coin that's taking over the page. How many people have heard about Safely? How many people have talked about Safely? So let's take a deeper look, right? And again, we come to this page, we get some information. We can see that the price is at 10 cents. There's no real information on market cap. The volume is around 10 grand, right, in the past 24 hours. So this is something that no one's looking at, right? In these type of situations, you want to dig a bit deeper. So of course, we're going to go to the website and see what this is all about. Your gateway to the cryptoverse, next-gen identity wallet, and composite blockchain infra provider for the decentralized cryptoverse governed by the community. All of the major keywords that you're looking for, right? So again, this isn't convincing. We want to dive deeper into the project. We want to see whether or not these folks can actually post legible JPEGs on their website. We're looking at the things that they're doing, major projects, et cetera, et cetera. If you don't understand what a project is trying to do, don't jump into it, right? don't jump into it. If you don't understand it, if you don't understand the roadmap, if you can't get clear information on the team, if the white paper's fuzzy, you may want to steer away from things. There's tons of different opportunity out here, and you don't have to catch a project at the very beginning in order to be successful. I would much rather people work on risk management than putting all of their risk into things that may never launch. Again, these are speculative projects. You have to be careful, okay? So after I take a look at the website, if this is new and I take a look at the community and I'm still not sure, I'll go to CoinMarketCap. Now, once I'm on CoinMarketCap, I'm going to get a bit more information about this. But what I really like to go to is the Explorers, okay? Now, on the Explorers, I look for certain things, certain patterns in regards to who the holders are, how much supply they're holding, and what are the transactions. I can get as much information as I want to from this, but what I really want to do is come to the holders, okay? Now, when I get to the holders, let me blow this up just a bit to make it easier to see. I want to pay attention to certain things in these wallets. I want to see how many contracts they have set up, but what I like to also look at is the holders of the quantity, right? I can see that this deployer wallet holds quite a bit of value. The next one down is around 20 million, then 14, then around 1 million each, right? Everyone else holding either 100,000, less than that. But what I also like to pay attention to is how many of these wallets are essentially holding the same exact amount. I've seen this in the past with holding, when you take a look at Etherscan or Polygon Scan or whatever it is, identical wallets are usually one person, one or two people. And usually these wallets are where they dump from. So I've seen it where these wallets were essentially the first few wallets at the top and they dumped in coordination with each other, right? So 1 minute it'll be 41,666 on all of them. And next time you refresh the page, it'll be 30,000 in each one of them, right? So I've seen this in the past, and this does give me worry whenever I do view things like this, because, I've seen bad situations happen where you have these identical wallets and they sort of just dump from them, trying to make it seem like it's a number of different wallets that are sort of pushing the price down when it's really just one or two people, right? So when you see identical numbers like this, be wary and come up with your own criteria for research. You have to understand how to do your own research and your own information. And this is why we're bringing this to you guys today. This is what's going to help you sort of separate yourself from other people when it comes to your research. All right. So we'll take a look at all of this stuff. If we think that there's some value in this coin, we may take a look at it. We may not. But again, CoinMarketCap is where we start to find this information. Do whatever type of filtering you want. I always tell people go ahead and experiment with this type of stuff so that you can start to figure out what you really want to dive into. Okay, you can also break this down by different types of exchanges. So if you're on Binance and you want to know what's new coming out for Binance and the coins that are going to be working there, you can filter it out there. Even categories, right? If I want to know just releases that are coming out, or new exchanges, right? Coins that are going on new exchanges, right? Or when they're going to hold, meetups or conferences. This is a place where you can find it, okay? So CoinMarketCap, very powerful, good information for you to dive deeper into so that you don't always have to necessarily worry about who's saying what on Twitter or who's saying what on Instagram or who's saying what on YouTube for you to find opportunity. This is how you find it yourself. If this information has been valuable, if this information has been useful for you, go ahead, hit the like, subscribe, bell notification buttons, and you will get notified whenever we post content like this. Next week, we're diving back into the charts to take a deeper look at what's happening with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and pretty much the rest of the market. Has been a pretty mixed day, but we were not focusing on the markets today. Sundays are good days to do research and sort of dive deeper into learning and education when it comes to this market. This is your boy Maestro. This is the long and short. Hopefully this gives you some insight onto how you can find tokens that are sleepers that people aren't talking about. It's your boy Maestro. Take care. We out of here. It's the long and short. Peace.